Green Collective, you've got celebrity status right now because I just keep hearing the word celebrity when I was tapping into your energy. Um, yeah, there's an interesting denseness to this crowd right now, is the phrase that's coming through. Denseness to the crowd. I don't know if some of you were recently at like a public event or a church, chapel, maybe a concert, something where there's a lot of people. But there's something about you standing out in this really effortless way. And I see someone in a tan dress who is walking towards a goal, and the goal presents itself to be this treasure chest. And you go up to it very casually, very nonchalantly, and you open this treasure chest that no one has been able to open before you came along. And there's this feeling of like brilliance, how you're so plainly dressed, you're so plainly presenting yourself. And then this treasure chest is so opulent, is the word that comes through. And I see you taking out like silver and gold, all these beautiful things from it. So you may be unboxing something very soon. I don't know if this is a unique gift in your lineage or um, an event to celebrate, just something celebratory. A celebration is coming through big time here. Um, there is energy pouring into this collective too from like I hear from like the Gold Collective. So there is, I don't know if you guys cross over with the Gold Collective or if there's just some of that theming in your life right now, but there's just a lot of like gold energy around you too. So I'm seeing like green with silver and surrounded by gold. Um Almost like if you had an emerald ring with like gold around it. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of that. I think I'll put that as one of the pictures. Um, yeah, unless something else comes through more urgently, like I feel like that would be a good way to sum up this energy. Okay, let's see what else I get for you, collective. There is this feeling of it. It's a bit hard to breathe actually when I'm really tapping into your energy. It's like maybe it's anxiety that I'm feeling. There's like this unease or this unsettlement in you right now. Um, it feels shaky. That's the best way I can describe it because I feel like I'm going to tremble or like I'm trembling. Like, yeah, like I just need to take a deep breath there and sort of calm and settle myself. There's just like this like really rush of energy. I wonder if inside you're nervous about something, like something is approaching and you're nervous if it's like going to pay off, if you will, if it's going to work out for you. I'm being shown a donkey right now, and then I'm also being shown like a mule, and then another word that we can call donkeys. I'm also hearing that word, and I'm also seeing like a fly, like a winged fly. There's this energy of being useful, being resourceful, but not always being liked for what you are. It's almost this workhorse mentality of like people like to blame you for things or pin the blame on you for things, kind of like pin the tail on the donkey, but like it's not even your fault. You were carrying the load. Or people sometimes look at winged ants and they think, "Oh, this is so gross. I don't like this." But winged ants aren't unclean. They're just ants with wings on them. But people sometimes think they are similar to mosquitoes or like wasp. Like they think of something else that's dangerous, but that's not it. That's not your energy. Um yeah, what is this? How would I describe this? This feeling of being wasteful is coming through, like working really hard for something but it like not paying off. So I don't know if this is something, if I'm tapping into something from your past or maybe presently that you're feeling. um this is very like this channeling is very drifty. You were the collective that was most urgently wanting a channeling, and yet like it's so drifty. And I'm seeing 234 on the clock right now. um I feel very spacey and kind of ungrounded, not in like a dangerous way per se, just in a nonchalant sort of way. um Maybe you need to lock the f in. What I'm hearing, like maybe there is something that like you're a bit too casual, and you need to lock in for something, like you need to square up, be a little more serious. Anyway, going back to this donkey and mule imagery, um something about the fact that a mule is sterile feels important, almost like if someone tried to mix you with a horse, like mix you with something to make you bigger, better, brighter, more comfortable for them, more useful. It like creates something that can't be recreated because a mule is a once in a lifetime creation. Like mules can't breed. If you have not learned that before, they're sterile. So there's something in this energy of like creating something for the purpose of a task, but that's its only purpose. Like it can't exist beyond that. Um, what a strange energy. I wonder if this relates to you in some way, please tell me how it does below in the comments. I mean, like obviously I'm channeling it, so there's someone out there that this relates to, but I would love to hear how this resonates with you because it's just a very strange, mismatched message and energy that like keeps kind of coming in. And there's also this feeling of not always being like the prettiest pony in the show. So there's this feeling of being separate from other people, but not for very long, just long enough to recognize that you're different. Like when someone puts you as a donkey in a lineup with ponies, it's obvious who's who. And there's this feeling of how donkeys are so sturdy and durable, but they're not pretty. Like you would look at a donkey and think that thing is built for work, built for speed, whatever. You look at a pony and think, oh, how beautiful, how stunning, whether they go fast or not. Like, oh, let's do a show for them. Let's give them awards. Let's dress them up and we'll do riding classes. But like, I hear people don't do riding classes for donkeys. So there's this interesting feeling of you feeling mismatched in some place in your life where you feel maybe like a donkey in a room full of ponies and no one wants to like ride you. You can take that how you will. I realized how that sounded after I said it. Um, but like you're never the example. You might be divergent in some way from other people, whether that's ethnically speaking or maybe you're neurodivergent. Maybe you just don't quite fit the mold. Like you have four hooves, you have that sort of what's the term, bovine body, or maybe that's for cows. Um, but like you're not a pony, and it's the smallest of differences that differentiate you from a pony because you're clearly from the same kind of species, like they're not that different, but it's different enough that you have different names. And if you try and breed together, you can't produce offspring. You can't produce something sustainable, basically. Yes, you can produce offspring, but not offspring that like can last. Does that make sense? I don't know if this is to do with actual children or if this is to do with metaphorical children, like a project you do with someone. One of my cats is really interesting. He's laying down here on the bed near where I'm channeling, and he's very sleepy. And he was just kind of watching me slowly, slowly as he blinks his eyes as he's falling asleep, just sort of winking at me. I don't know if you have a cat or something, or if someone's watching you right now. It's very like undisturbed, just watching. But there's that energy definitely present in this reading. Like I've never seen him quite do this before in the way that he's doing it. It's very cute, but also just very not super like him. So anyway, um, yeah. So back to this energy of combining with something else that doesn't make something sustainable. So maybe it's a person, maybe it's a thing, um, maybe it's like a mission. So just be mindful of who you're mixing your energy with in any way, whether that's for a project, whether that's romantically. Um, and are the things you're producing sustainable? Like almost are you with someone in your gene pool? Are you with someone who's compatible? Are you working with a person who can actually bring your project to life? Because I'm hearing there are things you want to bring to life, but it's going to be very hard for you to do that if the person who's co-working on it with you, or like co-opting it with co-opting, I forget what that means, but um that term comes through of like the person who's co-opting it. Keep in mind that if they're mixing their genes or their ideas, their wishes, their wants and wills into this with you, does it produce something that's viable anymore? So if you had produced this on your own or with another donkey, like it would have been something sustainable. It would have borne fruit that could go on and have generations of fruit, right? But it's like I think what this messaging is saying is be careful about who you're mixing your energies with. I think that's the main theme here. Um, Not everyone is going to be able to do the same things as you. So just be mindful of that. And be mindful of if it feels like you're making stuff that's not making a difference, or like you feel like you have this good idea, but then you work on it with someone. And then through that gestation process, it turns out the idea is like SHIT and it's really bad and it doesn't work at all the way you thought it would, that actually may not be you. That may be this other person who is working on the situation with you. Um, and that message is coming through very strongly in this really abstract way that was hard to interpret, but now I think I understand its messaging. And again, let me know how this is fitting for you because it's a very interesting situation you have in your hands here. Um, yeah. Wow. It's almost like it's like ungrateful feeling too of like it would be ungrateful of someone to come in and mess up the stuff you have done for yourself. But like they sometimes people want credit for doing things and they'll say, "Oh, look, well, I'm a pony. I'm bringing all these nice things and you're just a donkey. So like shouldn't you be grateful? Like I'm a pony." Um but I'm getting this feeling that like sometimes people may look down at you like you're less because you're either maybe not as pretty as other people. um Not to say you're ugly, but just like there are some very pretty people who think, oh, you're not as pretty as me, or you're not as accomplished as me, or oh, people that are like you, donkeys like you, do work like this, and like basically you're just not like respected as much for a bunch of reasons. And so those people can look at you and think they're doing you a favor. And I'm seeing like 111 on my timer. They can think you're doing you a favor, but really they are disrespecting you and they're causing your idea not to come to fruition correctly. Because they think like, oh, I'll mix my superior pony genes in with you and my superior ideas and thinking and whatever, my genetics, my mental whatever. And then it's like it turns out completely inviable. And it's all because they messed it up. Even though they thought they were bringing this better thing, they weren't, and they ruined it. And if you had just been left to your own devices, or if you just found someone who was more like you to work on it, it like wouldn't matter that the two of you weren't as like beautiful together, quote unquote, or you weren't as showy or like exuberant, extravagant. Like the appearances wouldn't have mattered so much, if that makes sense, because the work that you produced would have been valuable and in its own category, in the category it should have been in. So just be careful not to let your ideas, your creations be deviated from the category you mean them to be in, I guess is another way of looking at this. Um, yeah, very interesting energy. Let's see if there's anything else that's coming through for you, Green Collective. I'm hearing all that glitters is not gold, and I'm seeing that ring, that like green emerald ring with the gold around it. And there's this feeling of this green being flaked and scratched away, and then it's like silver underneath it. So sometimes they will plate metals with other metals to make them look a certain way, but then time wears them down. It wears on them, and then they become different, but they actually just become more like themselves. Does that make sense? So there's this feeling of something in your life that had the appearance of gold or had the appearance of luxury or opulence or beauty or whatever. It's like the grind and the wear and the tear wears them down to the point where you see what it actually is, or I'm hearing who they actually are. So there may be someone in your life who, like, when push comes to shove, we find out they're not so durable. Um, we find out that they were different underneath than we thought them to be, because like they presented themselves like they were gold, but they were not. um, they were silver, and that's fine that they're silver, but they were pretending to be something that they weren't. And so like you got caught up and engaged with them. I'm seeing 333 on my timer because they presented this other way. And like how could you have known, because they came across this other way. But over time, that it slowly started flaking off their outer appearance, and you started seeing like their true nature. And you kept telling yourself, oh, it's not that big a deal. Oh, maybe I can paint over it. I'll just turn the ring this way, or it's fine, it's fine. But eventually one day you kind of realize there's no gold left on this ring. It's no longer like a green emerald and gold ring. It's like a silver, like a tarnishy sort of, like just like a dull silver and emerald ring. And that's fine, but that's not what you wanted. Does that make sense? Like, you went into it thinking that you're getting this gold ring with an emerald, and that's one particular vibration, it's one particular vibe. Now it's silver. And for those of you who work with metals or who understand metals, gold is an attractive metal. It attracts things to it, vibrationally speaking. So like if you wear gold, that attracts in opportunities. It attracts in attention, both good and bad. The opportunities, both good and bad. Like it brings stuff in for you. It magnetizes. But the silver repels things. So you would wear silver maybe more for like protective jewelry, for instance, versus like gold for your abundance jewelry. Anyway, that's a whole other topic, but just a little tidbit for you. So there's this feeling of like you were drawn in by the outward appearance of magnetism, is what's being said here. And then you were repelled by the inner truth of repellent. Like there's something repellent about this person. And I'm getting it, it's more of a person than a thing. Maybe it's a thing for some of you, but I'm getting for most of you, it's a person. And you're just kind of feeling like deceived a little bit by it and a little peeved about that because you're like, what's this person doing? Like, why would they pretend to be gold? Just be silver, because then I can be straight up with you. But I can't be straight up with you if you're going around pretending that you're gold when you're silver. And I don't like want a silver friend, if that makes sense, right? Like you're like, I wanted a gold friend because I'm in that era of trying to attract, more things and good things into my life. I'm not trying to like push opportunities away. So you're in this warmth. Like you're in this era of like warmth and embracing humbleness and gratitude and activity. And the silver vibe is just like someone who's more reclusive, maybe a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more push pull or shoving. Like it's just not, I'm seeing these two energies clash in a very visceral way, and you are just not vibing with that. So yeah, so just be careful of the rings that you're wearing. Make sure you take them off every now and again. Make sure you check out your friendships, your relationships, partners, work, drama, whatever, all this stuff. You need to evaluate it every so often. And we're just about closing out Mercury retrograde. I think today is the last day of it, actually. So whenever you're watching this, you may have a little bit of this energy of like the final push. It's the final review of all of your old stuff before you move forward and start your new projects. You tie up those old loose ends, and those relationships that need ending, move on from the things that need moving on from. And I'm seeing 1111 on my file numbers here, actually, as I'm saying this. Yeah. So this is a time where you need to make those changes, and you're starting to see the truth of who people are, how they are, and it's bothering you. I'm getting it's actually like quite bothering you because you feel betrayed, you feel upset because these people lied. But don't be upset, because people often lie because they feel like they're not enough. And when people feel like they're not enough, guess what? They actually like may not be enough, because believing that you're not enough is enough to not be enough. Does that make sense? You're like, oh no, I'm not good enough. You literally just said you are not good enough. You didn't even say I'm afraid of not being good enough. You said like I'm not good enough. Okay, you told me who you are. You just spoke your truth. Do you stand by that? It's that energy. Like, don't speak what you don't mean. But a lot of people out here saying things they don't mean and then expecting someone to contradict them. And I'm kind of, ooh, I'm getting this energy from you, collective. You're just kind of like, it's this energy that's like, like a little annoyed. And I'm suddenly sitting up straighter and like arching my like how would I put like arching my back a little bit and like pushing my chin down to my neck, like like better posture. You know what I mean? Like squaring my shoulders. Like it's this not quite. It's not quite confrontational, but it's this like aggressive or assertive thing that's just kind of like, oh, you're sad? Let you be sad then. Like it's like I'm done coddling you. I'm done waiting for you to be better. I'm done trying to help you with things. I'm done like with all of this. You lied to me about who you were, and that's fine. But now that I'm like, making my boundaries, or I'm doing my thing and I'm trying to establish where I want to go from here based on your vibrational frequency, since like I know what mine is, and now that I know what yours is, I have to just act accordingly to that. Now you're getting all upset, but like, why are you upset? Why are you expecting me to lift you up and to contradict all these statements you're making about yourself? Like, I'm getting that this person may speak really negatively about themselves, and you're so sick and tired of it. You're like, can you just be positive? Can you like cheerlead me for once? Like, can you just be a friend to me? Because you're not even that right now. So, collective, I feel like there's someone in your energy who's just like really taking you for granted, and you're beyond frustrated about it. Like you're getting angry, and it takes a good bit to get you angry, because you can be a ruthless collective, but generally you're not like a pissed off collective. You're that like law of nature collective, right? Where you were made to be a spider, for instance. So it's not sinful or evil or bad if you eat other bugs. That's how you were designed. So you don't have the angst and the frustration and sadness and guilt and shame that comes from like matrix programming for people that have human morals. Like you have these more animal kingdom morals. in this sort of aspect of you. Um, so yeah, you're looking at this person and you're like, now I'm starting to get pissed off because why are you like this? um, you're starting to think what a waste of time it's been for you to try to help this person because you realize they've just been spelling themselves into existence and out of existence. Like they keep saying this stuff about themselves. They keep running their mouth about other people and you're so sick and tired of it. You're like, you are just a silver ring, not even gold. Like, how dare you talk like that? Like almost like you're not pretty enough to talk like that. Like is the a little bit of the energy coming through of like, if you think you can be this arrogant, this annoying, this cruel, mean, and vindictive, like you got another thing coming because you don't have enough other qualities for people to tolerate this about you. It's not that people should tolerate it with others, but there's this feeling of like, sometimes when someone looks a certain way or they have a certain job, they have a certain position, sometimes people will hold back what they say or think. Like they may think it, but they will hold back more because they see enough other qualities that they feel they have to respect. This person, I feel like, doesn't deserve your respect. Like there's no quality of their life that you look at and you're like, man, I wish I was like that. Collective, you look at this person and like pretty much everything about their life, you're like, I'm so glad that's not me. So, and I'm seeing 111 on my timer here as I'm saying that. So collective, just watch yourself around this person. Like just now that you know their true nature, don't get too pissed off about it. Just back away from them slowly or quickly. Just slowly. Just like you you don't need to prove anything to this person. You don't need to prove anything to them. Um, this person's going to be who they are. You now know it. Whether they replate themselves with gold or not, you know who they actually are. Like they've shown you their true colors, I'm hearing, and there's no going back from that. Like you cannot unsee what you've seen. You can't unring that bell. So now you've learned collective when people start flaking off, like when people start losing little bits of themselves, quote unquote, and it's like revealing stuff that's their true self, you have to take that for what it is. You can't, I'm getting very passionately here from spirit. You can't keep suffering from other people when they are not becoming who they're meant to be, when they're wallowing in their misery, when they're just being upset, when they're not doing what they need to. I saw 2211 on here. Yeah, you can't be the spokesperson for them. You can't be the gatekeeper for them. You can't be the person who's constantly lifting them up. Like you need to be lifted up, collective. I'm seeing 222 now on my timer, which is, I associate that with love. It's like you are now in the era of your life, in the phase of your life where you deserve love and compassion and friendship and not bullies. Yeah, bullies are so not needed in your life right now. And I feel like this person may be a bit of a bully. It like makes you want to eat this person, if that makes sense. That's like the energy from you right now. You're just like, if I could be done with this person by any way possible, I would choose it. It's hard to extricate yourself from them because again, it's like this ring you were wearing and I'm seeing this person take off the ring and it leaves a mark on their skin. But there's also this feeling of like the mark will fade in time, even if you have a tan line. But this is more of a like the ring was too tight, almost like you expanded too much for this person. And so they kept trying to restrict you and pull you back. But like, no, collective, you're not meant to be restricted. You're not meant to be pulled back. This ring wasn't meant to go with you on this stage of your journey. You literally outgrew it. So whatever this ring provided for you at one point in time, like that time is done. I'm hearing that person's use is done. They've done their purpose in your life and you served your purpose in theirs. You gave this person, and I'm seeing 333 on my timer, you gave this person an opportunity to level up. Okay, collective, you gave this person an option to advance spiritually. That is so rare. I'm getting huge chills. It's so rare, collective. Like, you don't even know how hard it is to find people who are generous and genuinely willing and able and capable of helping someone level up. Most people are not like that. Most people are very content to just sit with where they're at in life, but that's not you. And you didn't want that to be them. You wanted it to be better for them. But when you offered better, that person just like snubbed you, turned you down, turned their nose up at you. Like, that person chose to deliberately like misinterpret things that you said for their own benefit. And that person, maybe they chose to be the victim, maybe they chose to be, I hear like harlot. I forget exactly the context of that word. I don't think it means like whore. I think harlot is something else, but I don't really know. So, I hear like playing the harlot. So that's maybe that message is for one person in particular, but collective, I'm annoyed just channeling this person's energy, so we gotta move on from it because I'm gonna punch something at 444 on my timer. Because I get protective over my collective, my channel for y'all. So, piss me off when I feel people in your energy that are taking you for granted because you're good people. And how dare they? Where can I throw my hands? So anyway, gonna get my video taken down for that. So let me see, collective, if there's anything else that I'm gonna channel for you at this time. Let's see what we got here. I hear whipped cream or dairy. I don't know if that's significant for some of you. Maybe that's just a confirmation. I'm not really getting a lot of messaging around that. I just heard that come through. Yeah. I think that's it for the main bulk of your message, collective. Thank you as always for listening all the way to the end of this one. I do these because I'm called to do it and I know it's helping people. Whether or not I see the likes or see the comments or see the follower count grow, I know it's helping people. And all those things are inevitable. Like those increase with time. But just know, even if you don't like comment every time or you don't like every time, that's fine. It just helps the algorithm, but is not necessary because the channel is already growing pretty good. And I'm getting a much better idea of you, collective, what your different personalities and strengths and traits are. So, I'm getting a special message for those of you who haven't clicked off yet, because some of you have clicked off. Um, be on the lookout for something coming in your near future. I don't know if this is in the mail or like email. I feel like it's in the physical mail, but you have something coming towards you in the physical mail that you've been waiting for. That's going to show up very soon. Then the next like 2 or 3 days, probably. Um, it's going to be some good news for you. Maybe you've been expecting it, but yeah, I do have that for some of you, collective. So anyway, I'm going to hop off now and go do another channeling, but thank you for listening. I hope you're doing amazing on this beautiful Monday today here when I'm recording it, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.